The indie hacker versus the corporate engineer. Have you ever wondered what it really takes to build something big on the internet? Not just using skills, but using courage, patience, and sometimes even fear? Because there are two very different paths people take in the world of tech. One is the indie hacker, the other is the corporate engineer. And both are trying to build a life, but in very different ways. So the question is, which one are you closer to? Or maybe a better question is, which one do you want to become? Let's talk about it. The indie hacker is someone who builds alone or with a very small team. No big company backing them, no huge safety net, just an idea, a laptop, and a strong belief that maybe these will work. They wake up thinking about one thing: how to make something useful that people will actually pay for. Sometimes it's a small app, sometimes it's a website, sometimes it's a simple tool that solves one tiny problem. But behind it is always the same thing: risk. Because when you are an indie hacker, there is no fixed salary. There is no manager telling you what to do. There is no team meeting at 10 a.m. There is only you. And that sounds exciting, right? Freedom, control, no limits. But here is the truth no one tells you at the beginning. Freedom also feels like pressure, because every mistake is yours. Every delay is yours. Every failure hits directly. And still, indie hackers keep going. Why? Because they believe in something most people forget: ownership. They want to build something that is truly theirs, something that can grow while they sleep, something that can change their life, even if the journey is uncertain. But now let's switch to the other side. The corporate engineer. This is someone who works in a big company, a structured system, a clear role, a defined salary, a stable path. They don't wake up worrying about whether their product will make money today. They wake up knowing exactly what they need to work on. There are meetings, deadlines, team goals, and processes. And yes, it may sound less exciting at first, but it brings something powerful: stability. A corporate engineer can focus deeply on their work without constantly worrying about survival. They have teammates, they have managers, they have resources. If something breaks, there is a team to fix it. And they often work on large systems, products used by millions of people. Big impact, but shared responsibility. But here is something interesting. Even in this structured world, many engineers still feel a question inside them. Is this my real dream? Because sometimes the stability can feel like a cage, a safe cage, but still a cage. So now we have two paths. One is risky but free. The other is stable but structured. One gives ownership but stress. The other gives comfort but limits. And now, the real question is not about which one is better. Think about it. Because both paths require skill, both require discipline, both require hard work. But the feeling behind them is different. An indie hacker might sit alone at night trying to fix a bug, asking themselves, will anyone even use this? And still they continue. A corporate engineer might sit in a team meeting, discussing a feature that will impact millions, but thinking, I wish I had more control over this idea, and still they continue. Isn't that interesting? Both are building, but one is building for ownership, and the other is building for structure. Now let's go deeper. And that dream feels close, so they start. But very quickly, they learn something important. Ideas are easy. Execution is hard. Most indie projects fail, not because the idea is bad, but because it takes time, patience, and marketing to make people care. And sometimes, nobody shows up. That silence is heavy. But if they survive that stage, something powerful happens. They learn everything: product design, coding, marketing, sales, customer support, everything. They become a one-person company. Now let's look at the corporate engineer again. They think about, how do I make this better, faster, safer? And that focus creates depth. But sometimes it also creates dependence, because after a few years, some engineers realize they are very good at working inside systems, but not sure how to build one from zero. And then the thought comes again. What if I tried something on my own? Now let's pause for a moment. Why does this comparison even matter? So people are stuck in between. They admire indie hackers, but fear the uncertainty. They respect corporate engineers, but feel the limitation. So what should you do? Here is the honest truth. There is no perfect answer, but there is a better question. What stage are you in right now? If you are early in your career, maybe stability is not your enemy. Maybe learning inside a company is the best thing you can do. You get experience, you learn systems, you build confidence. But if you already feel something inside you, that urge to create, to build, to own, maybe you start small. Not by quitting everything, but by building something on the side. A small project, a simple idea, just to see what happens. Because indie hacking is not only about money, it is about learning how to turn ideas into reality. And corporate engineering is not only about stability, it is about mastering how large systems work. Both paths teach you something valuable. But here is the deeper question. Do you want to be someone who only builds what is assigned? Or someone who also builds what they imagine? Think about it. Because years from now, you won't just remember your job title. You will remember what you built. Fear of failure, fear of uncertainty, fear of starting. And once you understand that, everything changes. Because whether you are in a big company or working alone, the real game is the same. Can you keep going when things are hard? Can you stay consistent when results are slow? Can you believe in your work when nobody else does? That is the real difference, not the job title. Now, before we end this, here is something important. So now I will leave you with one final thought. If you had no fear, no pressure, no limits, which path would you choose? The indie hacker building something from nothing, or the corporate engineer building something inside a giant system? Or maybe a mix of both? Because in the end, the best path is the one that lets you sleep at night and still wake up excited in the morning. And maybe that's the real goal after all.